Canadian Parliament come up with a motion plan about foreign influences in Canada, giving the government 30 days to act. China's growing influence in Canadian universities and about CCP-linked efforts to co-opt Chinese language media and civic groups in the Chinese-Canadian community forced Canadian parliamentarians demand government to take on a much more aggressive path in countering China's interference. According to CSIS, undercover Chinese state security officials and others routinely attempt to silence China's critics in Canada by using tactics that include threats of retribution against people's families in China. According to International Uyghur Support Organization in Canada, Uyghurs in Canada get more harassment by China comparing to any other groups.
The Chinese government is harassing Uyghur students in Canada and threatening to hurt their families if these students do not give them information about themselves, like where they live, their school ID picture, and school ID number. Giving the Chinese government this information would put themselves in danger, but if they don't give it to them, then they're putting their own family back home in danger. I am lucky enough to have my whole family in Canada and be able to peacefully study as a student, but my Uyghur friends here are not able to, and they have to deal with the overwhelming stress of their safety and their families.
Chinese President Xi Jinping finally contacted U.S. President-elect Joe Biden on Wednesday to congratulate him. China focusing closely now on how Biden might approach China. Many observers think that Biden might restore pre-Donald Trump U.S.-China relations. Biden was first elected to the Senate in 1972 at the dawn of a new era of rapprochement between the U.S. and China, facilitated by President Richard Nixon's groundbreaking visit to China. In the decades that followed, Biden's approach to China largely followed along the same lines as his congressional peers. Many Chinese observers expecting he will restore China-US relations after Trump, and some others think he may still be tough on China. There are also perspectives of Chinese observers that Biden may not break the Trump's tough China legacy or could be tougher than Trump since he is one of the biggest vocal China critics in Congress. But Western observers, including Graham T. Allison, the author of Destined for War, Can America and China Escape Thucydides' Trap, think of the context that will shape Biden's policies is less the Trump legacy than the structural realities any American administration that takes the power in 2021 would face. It is clear that Biden will work with U.S. allies and make America return to WHO and the Paris Climate Agreement. China worries that Biden may rejoin the TPP to build alliances countering China. However, according to observers, even though rejoining TPP and the correlation of other powers are more favorable for US, but it is not easy for Biden to join TPP, as there are more protections among Democrats than Republicans in the domestic political field. Uyghurs are also closely following the US elections and also worrying how the US politics will affect the current Uyghur crisis in East Turkestan. Dr. Erkin Ekrem from Uyghur Research Institute said, "Change presidency may not have a big effect on Uyghur human rights issues, but changing policy, including tough or soft US-China relations, definitely affect future of East Turkestan and its people in geostrategic terms. That is why people of East Turkestan should learn how to rely on themselves and should not put all their hopes on one supportive country." Pope Francis criticized China's treatment of Uyghurs in his new book, Let Us Dream, The Path to a Better Future, published on November 23rd for the first time. He said, "I think often of persecuted people, the Rohingya, the poor Uyghurs, the Yazidis." Chinese Foreign Ministry dismissed his criticism and denied China's genocide. Denial was the last stage of genocide according to Dr. George Stanton of Genocide Watch. A Uyghur writer, poet, and educator Muyassar Abdul Ahad is on BBC's most influential and inspiring woman of 2020 list. Muyassar Abdul Ahad, who goes by her pen name Handan, began making a name for herself as a poet and essayist while studying medicine in Peking University. By the time she completed her master's degree in public health, she had resolved to focus on writing. After relocating to Turkey in 2013, Handan founded Ayhan Education, an organization devoted to fostering and teaching the Uyghur language in the diaspora. She currently lives in Istanbul. Handan's recent work grapples with the crisis in East Turkestan. Her debut novel, Khair Khosh Kuyash, which means Farewell to the Sun, is the first extended work of fiction to focus on the detention camps in East Turkestan. She believes that she was chosen as a representative of all the Uyghur women who are fighting against CCP's oppression.
Seeing my name on the list, I had mixed feelings. I was really excited, of course. It's wonderful to see the word Uyghur there. But at the same time, I felt so sad for Uyghur women who had been in the darkest corner of the world. I believe I was chosen as a representative of millions of Uyghur women in and outside East Turkestan who are fighting for change and making differences. For years, I've been doing what we should do. I deeply believe that it's our duty to preserve our language and culture while CCP is trying to wipe them out. And I haven't expected any fame for it. But I'm happy that our work is accepted as something important. Of course, I didn't do all the work independently, so I thank all those who were there for me. And I will continue to make efforts on what our previous generations saved for us at the expenses of their lives.